Hello, I'm Susan Fagan, your 9th District State Representative. Thank you for tuning in for this report on the 2010 session of the legislature. We are down to the final hours of the scheduled 60-day session with adjournment set for midnight, March 11th. But as I record this video update, it's unclear whether we'll be able to wrap things up on time and avoid a special session. Much remains to be done, and there have been some developments in the past few days that have changed the landscape surrounding the final budget writing process. Despite the clearly stated opinions of Washington citizens, many of them you, Democrats in the House and Senate are pushing forward with their tax increase proposals. This past weekend, the Senate Democrats approved 2 tax increase bills. One would raise 22 taxes by $910 million over the next 16 months. Included in the bill is a sales tax increase of 0.3%, and by itself, that's a $1 billion tax hike over the next 3 years. The Senate also passed a separate bill to increase the state tax on cigarettes by $1 to $3.02 per pack. 3 of the counties in the 9th District border Idaho, so you can imagine where people in those communities will go to make their purchases. We might as well call this the Idaho Economic Stimulus Act. As a matter of fact, I just spoke with Idaho's governor. He wrote a letter to businesses in Washington inviting them to move to Idaho. The tax hikes here that had been proposed for trade-ins, such as vehicles and farm equipment and non-organic fertilizers and sprays, are not included. That's a positive for the agriculture industry, but it's a small consolation for all Washingtonians. The House followed suit with its own tax package, a proposal drafted by the majority party that would take nearly $700 million out of our economy. That's $700 million that families and employers don't have and can't afford. Among its provisions, the House plan would increase taxes on home mortgages, spread the sales tax to bottled water, candy, and custom software, increase the excise tax on private aircraft, and impose higher business and occupation taxes on employers. Most of the tax increases would be a hit on Washington's employers, many of whom have laid off workers, cut back hours, suffered through workers' compensation and unemployment insurance increases, and are fighting to survive. The message from my constituents has been clear and unequivocal. Approach the budgeting process like you and I do with our own families and businesses. Make the distinction between what you want and what you can afford. It was never a choice of massive cuts or massive tax hikes. Republicans have said from the beginning that by setting priorities and reforming the way government delivers services, we could meet our constitutional duty and write a balanced budget without raising taxes. Our solutions were rooted in a very simple principle. Our state must live within its means. It is very disappointing that the majority party ignored our suggestions and ignored many voices of Washington citizens. Time is running short, and it appears that the Democrats are on track to end the session without adopting reforms that would bring spending in line with available revenue. It's hard to predict what the final tax package will look like after House and Senate Democrats meet to work out their differences. And how soon that will happen is anyone's guess right now. But it's safe to assume that we're looking at the prospect of one of the biggest tax increases in state history. And that's a bitter pill for the families and businesses of Washington. I'm State Representative Susan Fagan. Thanks for watching.